It was a Friday evening in downtown Chicago, and the elegant Italian restaurant buzzed with the hum of laughter, clinking glasses, and soft piano music. At a table in the corner, Emily Parker sat nervously, smoothing the wrinkles from her modest dress. She wasn't the kind of woman who usually went on blind dates. At 29, she worked as a school librarian, lived in a small apartment, and preferred books over bars. But her co-workers had insisted, almost begged her, to give this date a chance. "You deserve some fun, Emily," they had teased at lunch earlier. She had reluctantly agreed, never knowing they had set her up not out of kindness, but as part of a cruel inside joke. They assumed the man wouldn't show, or worse, that he would take one look at her quiet, bookish personality and leave. Emily waited, sipping water, staring at the door every time it opened. Minutes stretched into half an hour. A voice in her mind whispered, "They tricked you. You should have known better." Then the door opened, and everything changed. A tall man in a tailored navy suit entered, carrying himself with quiet authority. His dark hair was neatly styled, and despite the sharpness of his jawline, his eyes held something softer, almost tired. He scanned the room before spotting Emily. For a second he hesitated, then walked straight toward her. "Emily Parker." His voice was deep, steady. She blinked. "Yes, and you are—" "Daniel Hayes," he said, extending his hand. "Sorry I'm late. Traffic." Emily nearly choked on her own breath. Daniel Hayes was not just anyone. He was the CEO of Hayes Enterprises, one of Chicago's fastest-growing real estate firms. She had seen his face in magazines, on billboards even. A millionaire, a single father, if the gossip columns were true, and now... Her blind date? Across the restaurant, a group of Emily's co-workers sat at another table, snickering into their glasses of wine, waiting for the disaster to unfold. Daniel sat down, signaling the waiter with an ease that came from years of power dinners. But when he turned back to Emily, his expression softened. "So, tell me about yourself." Emily fumbled with her napkin. "There's really not much to tell. I'm a librarian. I like books. I don't really go on dates," he smiled faintly. "Books are underrated. My daughter's the same. She devours them." Her heart skipped. "Your daughter? Claire?" "She's 7. For a moment the businessman's mask slipped, replaced by a father's pride. Smart, curious, a little stubborn, like her mother was. Emily leaned in, surprised at how easily the conversation flowed. Daniel wasn't arrogant. He wasn't dismissive. Instead, he asked questions about her favorite authors, her work with children, even her dreams. He listened, really listened, in a way few men ever had. As dinner stretched on, Emily forgot about the cruel joke that had brought her here. She forgot about the co-workers watching from across the room. All she saw was a man who, despite his wealth and success, seemed lonely, human. Halfway through dessert, Daniel leaned back, studying her. "Can I be honest with you?" Emily nodded cautiously. "I almost cancelled tonight," he admitted. "Blind dates aren't my thing. But something told me to show up. And now I'm glad I did." Her cheeks warmed. She didn't know how to respond. Then, out of the corner of her eye, Emily caught sight of her co-workers. They were laughing openly now, pointing toward her table. The truth hit her like ice water. They never meant for this to be real. She lowered her gaze, her voice barely a whisper. "Daniel, I think I need to tell you something. This date, it wasn't set up out of kindness. It was supposed to be a joke." "On me?" Daniel's eyes flickered, his jaw tightening. He turned slightly, noticing the group of women across the room. Their laughter, their mocking glances, it all became clear. For a long moment, silence hung between them. Emily braced herself for the humiliation, for him to stand up and walk out, leaving her exposed to their cruel laughter. Instead, Daniel did something no one expected. He stood, then walked around the table and gently took Emily's hand. The entire restaurant seemed to pause as he pulled her to her feet. His voice carried across the room, calm but powerful. "Ladies and gentlemen," he announced, eyes sweeping over the diners and landing squarely on Emily's co-workers. "I want everyone here to know something. Tonight I came for a blind date. I didn't expect much, but what I found was someone real. Someone kind. Someone who reminded me what honesty looks like in a world full of masks. Emily's heart pounded in her chest. "Daniel," she whispered, mortified, but he wasn't finished. Turning to her fully, he went down on one knee, shocking everyone into silence. The Millionaire CEO, the man who commanded boardrooms and headlines, looked up at her with eyes full of sincerity. "Emily Parker," he said, his voice steady. "I know this is sudden, but I don't play games. I know what I feel when I see something genuine. So here I am, in front of everyone, asking you if you'll give me the honor of a future. Will you marry me?" Gasps rippled through the restaurant. Her co-workers' laughter died instantly, replaced by open-mouthed shock. The waiters froze. Even the pianist stopped playing, Emily's vision blurred with tears. "Daniel, we just met. This is crazy," she whispered. "Crazy," he agreed softly, rising to his feet but keeping her hand firmly in his. "But life is too short for anything less than truth. And the truth is, you're the first woman in years who's made me feel something real." Her co-workers shrank in their seats, humiliated. The joke was on them now. Emily looked into his eyes, into the sincerity, the vulnerability beneath the powerful exterior. And though her mind screamed in disbelief, her heart whispered something else. This man isn't joking. And in that glittering Chicago restaurant, under the stunned gaze of everyone present, Emily whispered back the only word that felt right. "Yes."